And we're back. Alright. Baseball. And I'm going to start real quick. I'm going to say, I've been tooting my own horn about picking the Bruins. And mind you, I picked the Bruins when the playoffs started. But I picked Green Bay before the season started. And I picked Dallas when the playoffs started. Which still everybody thought I was crazy when I did it. But for my baseball predictions, I will throw this out. I will say I picked the A's to win their division. They're 15 and a half games out. I picked Minnesota to win their division. They're 12 and a half games out. Or 13 actually now, I think. I picked the Dodgers to win their division. They're 15 games out. And I picked I think a little help here, please. I know, Mom, but we're not done yet. And I picked Cincinnati to win theirs, and they're pretty much out of the race now too. So my predictions, I did pick Philly. I did pick Philly, and Philly is definitely the strongest team in the league. They're on pace to win about 110 games, and they're just outstanding. They lost today in a pretty exciting game that we saw.
Yeah, bases loaded, hit by pitch.
It's awesome. I was high on the Pirates for a while, and I'm going to tell you something. Me and Justin had talked about it. The Pirates at the time were one game out of first place, and they were actually buyers at the trade deadline for the first time in 18 years.
Got Ludwig and Lean. They just got cold.
And that 19-inning game that they lost on one of the worst calls I've ever seen in my entire life.
That's what
they lost 10 games in a row after that. And when you have a young team that isn't, I don't say it's a veteran team, but a team that's playing a little bit probably above what they should have been. They have young talent, but should they have been where they were? Probably not. But that seemed to have just absolutely taken the wind out of their sails.
Completely forgot about that,
and
actually.
They plummeted since then.
They lost 15 of 18, too.
In a week and a half, they went from being one game out to 10 games out.
They went from first place to fourth.
And didn't help that the Brewers got
high.
I mean, just red hot.
I mean, sum up all the divisions real quick. The Yankees and Sox are top two records in the AL. The Yankees have a half-game lead over the Sox.
Right now, but that could change by the end of the day. I'm not even sure.
The Tigers actually swept the Indians to improve their division lead to 4.5 games.
And that division, though, is not...
No, that division's not sold.
Because Chicago's still
Chicago's right there, yeah.
And so is Cleveland.
And the Rangers lost today and the Angels won, so their division...
It's still 5 games.
It's five-game lead. And the Rangers win that division.
Yeah.
And then you move to the NL. The Phillies have a 7-game lead over the Braves.
Which the Braves are the second best team in the National League.
The Brewers have a 9-game lead over the Cardinals. When that division had 4 teams with 3.5 against each other, now the Brewers they won 19 of 21.
They're ridiculously high.
They're 47-16 at home, and then Diamondbacks lead the NL West by 1.5 games now.
Which I love for a couple reasons because I can't stand the Giants.
You like teams like that.
And I like teams the way they play. They remind me of they're like the National League Twins. And they play small ball. They're small market. Nobody expects them to do anything. They have some stud players, like you said. Upton is outstanding.
Yeah, Justin's had a good year.
They've always traded big name players and gotten these prospects, and they've always come in and they're competing, and I really like it because, again, I hate the Giants.
Yeah.
For all my friends back in California, I'm sorry, but I'm an A's fan. Speaking of the A's, one of the bigger disappointments of the league this season, the A's have just been absolutely horrible.
Yeah.
They can't hit. Nicotine patch. Can't hit. And when they hit, they're not pitching. It's been just horrible. But I'm not even going to sit there and waste time on a team like the A's. I'm going to point out some teams. The Yankees have surprised me all year. They continue to stay there with no pitching.
No kidding.
A-Rod's been out for a while.
Came back today.
And it was a big offer today too. They really surprised me, and I don't know if that's a testament to how good they are or how the Red Sox just don't seem to have the team to finish it this year. I think the Red Sox lineup is ridiculous. They have 20 or 27. They have 9 guys that can hit 20 home runs.
No kidding.
And they have some pretty decent pitching, but their pitching is definitely
outside of Lester and Beckett. It's not.
And then Beckett's been inconsistent. It's not like they've been.
Lester's probably their best pitcher.
I think so too.
But one thing I wanted to touch on when you were talking about your division picks, and they all have one thing in common that Dodgers, their pitchers have been hurt all year. they've been beat up all year. Matt Kemp and Ethier are having great years.
Yeah, the A's. Three of the
Kershaw's
A's.
a Cy Young year.
Three of the A's starting five are out too, but that's not.
The Twins were beat up. I mean, Morneau was out for a while.
And so is
Mauer got hurt for a while. And that's one thing you can't fault teams for getting hurt. And you had another team you said you picked them to win the division.
The Reds.
The Reds beat up their best pitch. Their opening day pitcher got sent down to AAA.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that's just it's baseball. It happens.
It's a long season.
Also with the Giants, they beat them.
Giants
Their best hitter lost for the year. Their second best hitter, Sanchez, is out for the year.
Beltran got hurt.
Beltran got hurt. Sandoval spent time in the DL.
Closer's out now.
The close. I mean, it's just.
And Matt Cain hasn't been.
He's been off this year.
But really, though, Matt Cain has never been a 19, 20 game winner. He's always been solid. I told you for years I liked him a lot.
Yeah.
But last year in the playoffs, he was just lights out. And I mean, is he really going to pitch like that for a full season?
No,
Absolutely
he's not.
You know,
we don't.
Do I think they can still win that division? I do. Do I think they will? I don't.
I think they'll win the division, but I don't think they're not going to do what they did last year in the postseason. They're just too beat up, and they can't hit the ball. They can't hit the ball.
I don't. And it's so funny because about 10 years ago, baseball was. A lot of people were complaining. There was actually commercials that chicks dig the long ball, and McGuire was on it, and Sosa, and then they had like Glavine and Maddox, like shaking their heads, like, man, chicks dig the long ball, and because baseball these guys were just hitting the ball in the park, and it's expansion has ruined baseball. They're saying because there's guys that are pitchers now that would never have been on a major league roster. When there was 26 teams, but now there's 30 teams. So, do the math. You got an extra 100 guys making the majors. But I tend to disagree with that. I think what's the one thing that's changed in the last 10 years is steroids.
Yeah.
And
there's actually a guy that's got tested positive for HGH.
For HGH, the
first
guy in North America to do it, and that's a little bit different than steroids, but it's the same.
It's the same thing.
But yeah, I think baseball is
I think it's changing for the good.
Is very much. I mean, I always said you give me 9 Ichiros over 9 A-Rods any day of the week, and I guarantee I'll win more games. I
mean, we both have the A's, Giants. They both have one thing in common: the pitching. Mm-hmm. And I'd rather watch good. I'll take the World Series last year for example. I'd rather watch the Giants play than watch the Rangers. Yeah, the Rangers are going to score a bunch of runs, and they're going to hit the ball, long ball all the time. But I'd rather see a 2-1 game than a 9-7 game.
Me too. I absolutely love it. Unless my team's in it, I hate those are nail biters. I mean, we're all over the place with baseball here right now. But I mean, it's starting to.
Like you said that you said they were gonna. Teams are going to expand themselves from other teams.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what's going on right now.
It's thinning out up on
There's
top.
There's pretty much 3 divisions that are close.
I mean, the Angels are still in it.
They can't hit the ball. Outside of Weaver, their pitching's really not that great. Dan Herron's
but he's up and down.
But I think the Phillies are the best team in the up and down pitching, hitting, the whole 9 yards. They got we missed trade deadline. They picked up Hunter Pence. The Braves got Michael Bourne that helped them. The Giants got Beltran, and he went to DL. But I mean, the teams that are competing went and got somebody. I was surprised that the Yankees and Red Sox really didn't make a move.
No, they really didn't need to. The Yankees I expected to possibly get an arm.
Jimenez was the guy that they were looking for,
and they were actually looking to try to pillage the A's, and they wanted Cahill or Gonzalez, and Oakland wasn't going to part with those guys yet. But I mean, the Red Sox are still they can just hit the ball so well, and Adrian Gonzalez is hands down. I don't think anybody can argue that he's the AL MVP. The guy's numbers are
he's kind of slowed down. I mean, look at Granderson
Granderson is the only other one that you could really. But Batista doesn't.
His average is up this year.
It's up more than last year, about like 270 or something. But Gonzalez is about like 350. Just ridiculous. Yeah, granted, he plays in that Sandlot Fenway Park, but you can say that all you want because not a lot of guys that played in the Red Sox have put up those numbers, and they've had some hitters. I mean, Jim Rice, just to name one right off the top of my head, Mo Vaughn. They've had guys that can hit that haven't put up the type of season that this guy is. But I still think the Phillies, Oswalt just came back, and I mean, you played them in a short series, and you have 4 guys that can be a number 1 pitcher.
They were. All guys were
on any team, and
yeah.
I mean, Cole Hamels was the Phillies ace, and now he's the third, possibly fourth pitcher, in the rotation.
And people like to forget, he was their ace when they won the World Series.
They won the World Series, exactly. He was lights out. And,
he won World Series MVP.
So yeah, I mean, the year they lose the series is when Cliff Lee came to the team, and then they didn't make it with Halladay. So I mean, it's but I think they have all the pieces together.
Yeah,
and I think they're just really an outstanding baseball team, and you don't see a team that's great. You don't see a team win. The Braves are possibly have an outside chance to win 100 games and not win their division by 10 games. And that's amazing. The last time I can even think of something close to that was Oakland won 102 games and Seattle won 160.
I mean, I think there's something that separates the Phillies, the Braves, pretty much the NL from the AL. The NL has better pitching than the American League.
It's a better brand of baseball. I'm an American League fan, but it's just a better brand of baseball.
And you look I mean, Yankees, Sox, Rangers, and the Tigers right now. One of those teams has a better pitching staff than the rest, and it's the Tigers, and they're probably the fourth best team in the AL out of all those teams.
Speaking of the Tigers, before I wrap up, what I'm going to say is I think Justin Verlander is the best pitcher in baseball right now. I think he's going to win the American League Cy Young. I'll give Gonzalez the AL MVP. The National League is like
it's so hard. The Cy Young is so hard to pick.
Halladay right now is
Kershaw
and Clayton Kershaw is an animal.
He won 15 games for the first time in his career.
And he's good.
He's 15-5 with his ERA's under 3, and he's had his last 8 starts 4 of them. He's pitched scoreless.
I like him a lot. Clayton Kershaw and the MVP.
So, not a weak year for MVP. It's just that no guys really separated himself from everyone else. I'd probably say Matt Kemp.
I was gonna say Kemp, but
you could also go Ryan Braun.
But that's what I was gonna go with was Braun because they always tend to go with who's a winning team, which I disagree with 100%. I think the best player is the best player, but Braun would be who I would say, and kudos to Dan.
Justin Upton.
Justin Upton's having a good year, but kudos to Dan Uggla, 32-game hitting streak. Longest of the season.
Upped his average from 180 to 230.
Yeah, that's what was shocking. I was telling Mom, I'm like, man, he wasn't batting with the crap, and goes on this hitting streak. But a lot of good things in baseball. We'll touch more on it next week. We're gonna start when football season starts. We're gonna try to do it every Tuesday, which gives us. I'd like to do 2 shows. We can do one on Saturday to talk about the college football that day and preview the NFL. And then do another one on Tuesday, a quick one, just to talk about the NFL. We don't talk about anything else. But we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
We're going to try. We're going to start going live. We're going to start webcasting. And I already got the site. I downloaded everything today, all the software. We'll go with that. We're going to try to see when everybody can watch it, when it'll be a good time that we can communicate while the show's going on. So for those of you who've been bothering me about getting it back on, thank you. And we're back on, and it's good to be back on. I miss talking sports, so that's gonna do it for me anyway, Jacob.
That's it for me. I mean, aside from you saying everything that I was gonna say, Verlander probably the best pitcher in baseball right now. But I mean MVP, I'm gonna say Curtis Granderson to win MVP.
That's not a bad choice. He's having
and I think CC was my pick for Cy Young for a while until he lost a couple of starts. The ERA shot up a little bit. Verlander, you said he's 18-5 with a 2.36 ERA.
And he's almost thrown 3 no-hitters this year.
He's almost on 4. He's taken a no-hitter in the 7th inning 5 times this year.
5 times? He's
taken one of them took a no-hitter.
He's taken into the 9th twice.
Yeah, and he took one into the 8th twice too.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
When you do that, I mean, that's just his stuff.
Every time he steps on the mound.
Real quick, it's like he throws 100 miles per hour. He can throw 100, and then he'll hit you with a changeup that's 80, and you can't hit that.
He's got a filthy slider too.
And he'll throw 100 all the way to the 9th inning.
Yeah, he's awesome. I like Verlander.
But that's Verlander, Granderson, and then I'll say Ryan Braun and Clayton Kershaw.
Yeah, I was gonna say Braun is probably, but Halladay's he didn't get the win today, which
he only went 5 innings.
He was 11 in a row against the Nationals. They said coming in today, which I thought was funny. But anyway, that's gonna do it. I'm starting to lose my voice too, so we'll get these up. I'll get them up today, and you guys take a look, and again, tell us what you think. Rob and Jacob 71 at Yahoo, which I'm gonna change, but right now it's Rob and Jacob 71 at Yahoo. I do have a website for the show, but I have to get that because I'm still working on it. I want it to look good, and again, we're gonna start live webcasting, and give us Any ideas? Anything you guys want us to talk about?
White Sox going in the division.
Phillies gonna win the World Series. And the Dolphins beat the Patriots opening night on Monday. Monday Night Football, Dolphins win. Put your money on it.